Hey there, it's Jenny, and I am here today to share with you how I'm going to plan this week in my Big Happy Planner, which is my memory planner. You can see I have printed my photos on my Canon Selfie printer, and I'm going to cut them apart using my paper trimmer. I use the Canon Selfie to print the prints. I use an app called Pick Frame to create the little collage. These end up being close to about 2 by 3 inches in size. Sometimes I print them bigger, sometimes I print them smaller, but this is the majority of my prints are 2 by 3. It works well. It allows me to have the variety of photos on the page, like because the size works out to have a lot of them. If I used bigger photos, I wouldn't be able to use as many photos, which would work on weeks that I don't have as many photos. But recently I've been having quite a few, so it works out okay. Anyway, I also write, there's that little piece at the top that is a tear apart, like you tear it off at the end. I write the date on the edge of that it was taken so that I know where to put it on the weeks. I don't have to stick to it, but like for example, the picture of Trump and Biden, it would make most sense to have it on the day that occurred, right? Because I'm documenting the presidential debate. And so that's what I try to do. I wouldn't have to. I'm not married to it. And if you've been here for even a minute, you know that I'm really not particular. I'm pretty easygoing. But I do figure that if I can get it on the day that I took it, might as well go ahead and do that. But some days there are definitely a lot of photos, and so I have to either be creative or move them around a little bit. Like Wednesday, you see that I had 3 photos, which is kind of unusual. But I was able to make that work by punching the one photo into a small circle. Same with Friday, actually, which is just really unusual. But the punching gives it more interest anyway, and it allows me to get more photos on the page and close to the time and date that they happened. So that works out well for me. I'm going to adhere them. I am using, as I mostly do, my Scotch ATG gun. I like this one the best. The adhesive is really, really sticky. I've been scrapbooking for 19 years. And I have found that over time, some of the other adhesives don't stick as well. And if I'm going to do it, I want to make sure it at least sticks. So that's why I use the Scotch ATG when possible. Sometimes things are really too small to use the ATG because it's pretty big, but it works great. And the adhesive is super sticky. And actually, if you want to know the truth, it's really affordable as well. It's very low priced. So you get a huge roll for just a couple bucks. And so overall, it works really well, but it's a big one. So I'm just continuing to get all these down. This is where I like to start. This just helps me put everything else. I mean, you have to start somewhere, am I right? So this allows me to do that because the photos are the most important for me during these weeks. Then I embellish because I know that I want to make sure that I get embellishments on there. And then I add the plans because that is much, much easier to do. Those stickers in relation to this planner are very small. And so it's easy to fit those in where necessary, especially in a time like this where, let's be honest, things are not normal and I don't have as many plans as I would typically. I am working with the Crate Paper Hey Pumpkin collection. It's from last year. I'll link you up below to what I can. It is so cute. And I know you may be over Halloween because heck, we're moving right on into Christmas. But it's cute. I like it. And I'm still documenting the week of Halloween. Well, actually, this is the week before Halloween, so it's not the week of Halloween. Forgive me. But it's really cute, and I wanted to use it, and I had the die cuts, the papers, and the stickers all in my stash. I'm using the Big Happy Planner punch just to punch out some of the patterned papers. They're so cute. Look at those little ghosts. They're just adorable. So I'm just going to choose 3 of the different patterned papers. Again, sort of keeping in mind that the ghosts are pretty bold. I mean, they're not really, but you know what I mean. They're pretty bold. So I'm keeping the other 2 pretty simple. The one with the polka dots and then the one with the little cat faces on it, which is really cute, by the way. And the balance also a black on one side and then the black on the other side. So just keeping it all balanced out. I like that a lot because it just looks really pleasing to the eye that way. So I'm going to layer my embellishments. I'm not going as embellishment heavy as I do some weeks. Some weeks that's something that I'm all in, but there weren't a ton of things that I was feeling like worked this week, either size-wise or theme-wise. So I'm keeping it a little bit more simple, but it's okay because I have a lot of photos. And actually there were a lot of plans this week as well. So it really is fine that I don't have as many embellishments because there would not be as much room, So you can see those are the stickers. There's a variety of clear stickers and like glittery cardstock stickers, and they're just cute. Look at those cute little bats. Unfortunately, the adhesive is not great on these glittery stickers, so I could have probably put some additional adhesive on the back, maybe like a wet glue or the ATG, but that's okay. It'll be fine, and I'll either figure it out later or they'll fall out. Am I right? Okay, so we're still going through and looking for stickers. I'm trying to create little clusters on those three areas that I put. So we have the bats on the lower left. We have that phrase on the upper left, that Boo clear sticker. By the way, I just love it. It's so cute. And the texture of those stickers, those clear stickers, is beautiful. Touching it is just, they feel so smooth and lovely. And then also bringing in the words down by the witch. So just creating little clusters, keeping it in groups of 3 for the most part. Obviously with the bats, I did the 5, which, is pretty typical if you've been here for a hot minute. These are my Studio Calico planner stickers. And truth be told, they're just label stickers. That's what Studio Calico calls them, but they are magnificent. They come in the wide variety of colors. I know I tell you this every time I use them, and they are $1 a sheet, but the reason I tell you is because they're nice and thin, so they don't take up a lot of bulk. They are a great size, lots of colors, and $1 a sheet. And I purchased these on my own. They did send me some at first. However, I have repurchased all of them now because I do really like them that much. And the price is fantastic and they're easy to get. So I think it's a win-win-win-win-win, if you ask me. I am going for variety. I'm using the orange and the black stickers this week. And I'm going in heavy with the orange ones because orange is not a color I use a ton. So it's pretty exciting to be able to use that. And this is a very, very traditionally Halloween themed week with lots of orange and black. So I figured that I might as well just go all in. Obviously, I could have put a pop of yellow. Obviously, I could have maybe used some gray, that kind of thing. But it was easy enough. I had these in my stash. I didn't have to think too hard about it. And sometimes getting it finished and enjoying the process is good enough without being overly, I don't know if I want to say invested, but really spending a ton of time thinking about it. So that's where we're at. I'm just laying these down. That's where our plans were. So then I'll go back and fill those in with the things that we did on each of the days. So, practices and activities and things of that nature. I'm already looking wistfully at this week since things are beginning to shut down a little bit more, and just wishing we could get a handle on this COVID thing. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to fill in these boxes, and they are a little bit slick, so you do have to be a little bit cautious. On the solid colored ones, I do use my Papermate Flare, so you see that on the orange. You do have to give them a second to dry, though. I smear them all the time, and it's okay because I'm not a total perfectionist, so while it's a little irritating, I just leave them. But it's just really best if you give it a second to dry. It dries fairly quick, but it's just not immediate. On the white ones, I am going to try a permanent marker this week. I have not done that in the past, but I figured I might as well because those are a little bit more slippery even than the orange ones. So I figured I would give it a go. Try it out, see what happens. I like to do that because you just never know if you're going to find a better way to do something. In the end, I'm not sure that I love this permanent marker on those labels, so I probably won't do it again. I'll probably stick with my Papermate Flare, but I'm glad that I gave it a try. I won't have to wonder now, and I know that It's not really my favorite. Maybe I would try a different one, but the tip of that one is kind of one of my favorites. So I'll probably just let it be. So now I'm going to add some journaling. So that's why I'm sort of tidying up my workspace a little bit so I can pull out my magnetic mat and ruler. Now, as you can see, there's not a ton of empty space. So it's not going to be, I'm not going to be writing a story here, just a little bit documenting what was going on. My son's first in-person college class this year. There are 200 classes that are having anything in person at his university. And so one of his labs is in person every other week. So he was going to his first one of the year on October 21st. So I absolutely had to document that because that was pretty monumental this year, I must admit. And so just a little tiny bit of journaling about that. The rest of it is not ordinary, certainly, but it's definitely a little bit more status quo than that, certainly. So a few little lines, keeping them staggered around both the embellishments and the photos and plans. And I just love that. That's genuinely, looking at that, that's one of my favorites. That's how I wish they kind of all would look. The staggered lines really make it seem so playful, and I love the contrast of the black and white. Now we're going to add more journaling to this site also, and obviously I could write a book about the presidential debates and the campaigns this fall, but I'm going to refrain and stick to what's actually happening with my family instead. And so I'm just adding a couple lines, and really that's mostly what's going to happen on all of these, is just a few lines for each little thing, because as you can see, there is not a ton of room. I find that the staggered lines, by the way, is great for perfectionists also, because it's hard to line up your lines. And so, or it can be if you're not paying really close attention. So staggered, if it bothers you, if it's intentional, then it won't bother you, right? Anyway, that's it for me for this week. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.